Well, I'm joined now in the studio by the Reform UK MP for Newark. That, of course, is Mr. Robert Jenrick. Robert, welcome to Westminster. So 3 in 10 days. You set the ball rolling on the 15th, Andrew Rosendale on the 18th, and today makes it 3, Suella Braverman. Tell me how you're feeling today about this.
Well, I'm really pleased because Suella has been a good friend to me. She's a great Member of Parliament and she obviously embodies the values of reform. She has fought to leave the ECHR, to secure our borders, to be tough on crime, end wokery in the police, our schools. She loves this country, is a patriotic woman, and she will be a brilliant Reform Member of Parliament now. And you can see that Nigel is putting together a strong team, which is going to have a detailed, comprehensive plan to actually fix this country. And that's what we need to do right now. Britain is broken, as Nigel has said, despite what Keir Starmer and Kemi Badenoch say to the contrary. What we want to do is get rid of them, win the general election and turn this country around.
Suella Braverman did indeed today say Britain is indeed broken, echoing your point. Something else I thought was fascinating when you did your acceptance speech. You said you prevented from doing the job you wanted to do. Suella Braverman today just was out in the open saying she pleaded with Rishi Sunak at the time to leave the ECHR, but was blocked from doing so and then sacked. It's a common theme here, Robert Jenrick, that Conservatives such as yourself and Suella Braverman wanted to do, the stuff that you were passionate about, but you were simply prevented from doing so.
Yeah, look, there is a group of decent, patriotic Conservative MPs who did the right thing in government, tried to push the Conservative Party to be a better version of itself, but were constantly frustrated. And Suella was undoubtedly one of those. And after the general election, these were people like me who were painfully honest about what the Tory party got wrong on immigration, on tax, on the public services, urged the party to change, but ultimately came to the same conclusion that I have, which is that most of the Conservative Party doesn't agree with that. It's not sorry for the mistakes it made in the past. It's not going to change. And if it did ever manage to get back into government, which seems very unlikely, it would make the same mistakes all over again. So you've got to rally behind Nigel, rally behind reform, and ensure that there is a good, strong government of the centre-right after the next general election that will actually keep its word this time and sort out these problems.
Chris.
Your passwords are your passwords, only for your eyes. But how safe is your phone or laptop or tablet? Well, watch this. I press one button and my phone is now shielded from hackers and prying eyes. ExpressVPN is your protector. Yes, you can protect all your passwords fast across multiple devices with ExpressVPN. Premium, fast and highly secure. Get big peace of mind for a low cost. Click the link in the description or scan the QR code to get up to 75% off, plus 4 extra months free, all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your online life today.
Do you worry the sheer number of former Boris Johnson colleagues now in your new party? Nadhim Zahawi, yourself, Nadeem Dorries, Suella Braverman, of course, Danny Kruger, Andrew Jenkins, he goes on, Sir Jake Berry, Maria Colfer, Leah Litchie, Adam Holloway, Matthew Offord. I mean, it will be seen retread. Many of those are failed MPs who lost their seats at last election, allowing Kemi Badenoch to say the future is I'm the modern-day Tory party. These are the retreads in the last election.
Well, look, Nigel appreciates that he does need some people with experience of government, people who run government departments, because this isn't just a protest party. This is increasingly looking like the next government of this country, and we've got to be able to show to the British public that we'd actually do what we said we're going to do. We'd get things right, not fail like Labour is doing or the last Conservative government. But you're correct to say it also has got to be much bigger than that. We want people from other political parties and, frankly, people like Zia Yousaf who've not been part of Conservative or Labour politics at all, because we want outsiders, people who've been appalled by the failure of the political class in this country over the course of the last 10, 20 years, and going to really shake things up and deliver the change that's needed. The common thread when Nigel chooses who should join this party has to be, do you share the values of reform? And are you going to dedicate everything you've got to turning the country around? And there are many more good people in the Tory party who fit that description. There are some who simply do not.
Many more to come across?
I hope that those people who share our values will now come to reform, because it's obvious to me that reform is the only way to fix the country. And look, the truth is this. The Conservative Party is not going to win the next general election. Kemi Badenoch is not going to be Prime Minister. The next general election is going to be a simple choice. Starmer, or whoever replaces him, and Labour, or Nigel and reform. So if you share our values, you've now got to put party loyalty to one side, as Suella did today, and put the country first and back reform.
OK, Robert Jenrick, I have to put a question to you that was put to me by Mark Francois, who was sat in that chair. I think it's probably still warm. He was furious a moment ago. He was talking about the launch, of course, of Veterans for Reform earlier on today, somewhat overshadowed perhaps by the defection of Suella Braverman. But he went through the Hansard record here, saying that in that debate, the Troubles Bill debate, you didn't vote. Suella Braverman didn't vote. Nigel Farage didn't vote. Of course, Nigel Farage was at Davos. He's basically saying you don't care. Why didn't you vote, he's saying?
Well, in my case, I was what's called slipped, which is where if you've got a personal family issue, you can not vote by agreement with the whips. But I care about this. Suella clearly does. Our records show that, the campaigning that we've done, as Nigel himself did. Mark campaigned valiantly when the last Conservative government was in power on this issue, but he was hitting his head against a brick wall time and again. He was saying, why on earth are we not giving immunity to our veterans who served in Northern Ireland during the period of the Troubles, with other Conservative MPs, Johnny Mercer, who resigned as a minister. But time and again, those calls were ignored. Why? Well, because there were many Conservative MPs who ultimately prized human rights, the ECHR, our legal system, above protecting our veterans. And that is the argument that Reform made today. Nigel, if I may just say, was very clear. A Reform government would give immunity to each and every one of our veterans, would grant pardons to those who have been hauled before the courts and wrongly prosecuted, and would always put them first on housing, on support on the NHS, always ensure that the brave men and women who serve our country are properly looked after.
Robert Jenrick, are you intimating, suggesting that Mark Francois should come and join you and defect to Reform?
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know. I would just say this, though. When Suella and I voted against the last Conservative government because it had a weak version of Rwanda that would never have worked in getting the illegal migrants out of the country, there was only one other sitting member of Parliament who came through the lobby with us, and that was Mark Francois. There were 11 of us in total. Only one is now a sitting Conservative MP, and that tells you a lot about what's happened, that the decent, patriotic Conservative MPs have chosen to rally behind Nigel and Reform. And I'd urge anyone else who shares our values to do the same, because the only way we're going to fix this country. And at the next general election, if you're a long-standing Tory voter, I know it's tough because we're all creatures of habit and loyalty is important, but ultimately the country matters more. And you've got to back Reform.
The Tories appear to have bungled their response to Suella Braverman's defection. They've issued two statements. The first one talked about her mental health. It talked about they did all they could to look after Suella's mental health, but clearly she was very unhappy. A new statement released half an hour ago takes out that claim. What do you make of attacking somebody over their mental health, given, I mean, Suella Braverman hasn't got any mental health issues we know about?
I thought it was absolutely disgusting for the leader of the opposition to put out a statement attempting to besmirch Suella Braverman was absolutely appalling. They're obviously lashing out. They're very angry that Conservatives are choosing to leave and go to Reform. And they're not engaging with the issues. The same happened to me, where the world and his wife piled in, attacking me, throwing insults left, right and centre, but not confronting the actual argument that I was making when I said Britain is broken and the Conservative Party helped to break it. They won't win that argument. They know they won't. And so they're just going for personal insults. It's sad, but that's the way it is. People who really want to fix this country have got to rally behind Reform.